When carving such a heavily grained and very predominantly colored grain such as this vertical grain fir, and because it's 100 years old, it can get in the way of what you need to see, so remarking with pen is really important to make sure everything is laid out and clean before you start carving. In normal carving, you're going to want to have a consistency in your background as to what tool you use. But because of the nature of this in its more organic type of look and appeal and feel, as we'll see in the third and last section on the finishing, a versatility in the tools used will give a varied background, more rustic, more aged look. This may seem a little overhanded or heavy-handed in the tools use, and especially the mallet, but the grain, the hard grain that you can actually see on 100-year-old vertical grain fir is pretty tough. It's kind of like working with laminations of ebony and balsa wood. Something to note here is my own little humor, as dry as my narration may sound. For those of you who like to fire up a router or turn on a loud machine or two or three and to do your work, notice that I've left the headphones or the earmuffs predominantly in the foreground, and notice I never touch them. This is my favorite type of working. Quiet, just me, the wood, the bird in the background, the sound of the chisels, the hammer. Working with this kind of wood, a very sharp tool, very well honed, is important, and it's a continual through the day. I'll probably go through a routine of 4 or 5 times rehoning all the pieces. This is a block with a piece of leather attached, glued to it. The leather is then soaked with oil, and rouge, jeweler's rouge, is impregnated into it. When you can shave your hair off very easily, you know you're sharp enough. Even the larger chisels, it makes it a lot easier to do mallet work if your chisel is very sharp. I was a little abusive with this 1/2-inch chisel. It should glide across the tip of your thumbnail.